Hello. Time to hopefully beat this game today. Fun as it is, I'd kind of be happy to be finished with it. Plus then I can safely move forward and not really care about spoilers at all. So I've done all my errands, or rather did all my errands last night. This is the very sad music that plays after real Sophia dies. And now we have gray hair. Is that like stuck on a little... Oh. I don't know to what extent there's another area, or whether I'm pretty much ascending to the final boss. Every single major boss so far has had a little summoning pool before it, so I'm on the lookout for that. Oh, you're an enemy. Hi. That's fine, I'll back away. Come at me, you fools. That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Maybe those guys are not quite as strong as the other big lads. I don't know, there's so many big lads in this game. Oh. See your problem, you have to get a new light bulb. That one's flickering. Oh god. I'm stuck. Door stuck. Come here. Come face me head on. These are like server boxes. I mean, I guess there's been like wires and electricity in this game. This looks very advanced. Like, these are very clearly like electronics in a world that hasn't had electronics in this way before. It's had more like, you know, Renaissance 1950s World of Tomorrow automatons. Huh. I guess I found their Bitcoin farm. What are you? It hit me in the air out of that, wow. Quartz, excellent. I want to say I just filled out one of the nodes in the skill tree, which means that I need at minimum 2 quartz to, you know, I can still spend the 1 quartz and get something out of it, but I need minimum 2 quartz in order to actually fully fill out another node. Be very sneaky. Nice hat. This is just intriguing. I would not have expected a lot of this. They've got like ornate paintings in their stone death tower. I mean, I get it. You want your place to feel homely. It's just not quite what I would have expected. a map of presumably the world, or some very small corner of it. I also was not expecting to go down. I'm slowly descending here. What? And knocked his hat off. That's interesting. But not that one. Well, I guess when I killed him I did. I say him, I guess I don't know what. Oh, one of you. I hope that's enough, screw it, use the other one. Oh, it has a ranged attack. Okay. Oh, hello. Well, that's one way to kill him. Hey, Pixel. Buddy, I am streaming, okay? I'm streaming live to millions of fans. That might have come through in the microphone. Here we go. Now I'm going up. Everything's going the way it's supposed to. So many pipes. I wonder what they're piping. Is this where they pump their, I don't know, liquid ergo? Is ergo a liquid? What state of matter is ergo? It's not exactly a gas. So far I was wrong on my grand elevator theory, that by the end I would just end up with some large elevator to bring me to the top. I guess that could still be true. This is a very, very tall tower after all. Well, speak of the devil. Or maybe that's a shortcut. Is there anything? Yes. Okay, let me assume that that's a shortcut. And hopefully this goes down to open up the shortcut. Good. Yeah, that was a decent little chunk of traversal there. So where is this? Oh, this is, of course, the other side of this. So I might as well rest up then. I mean, this was like a fresh area. Respawning all the old enemies will not be much of a big deal. How much do I need to level up? 16k. I can grab some extra juice. That's actually a little... I don't want to waste the rest of that 5k, so I have almost 15k. I'll get a little more, probably just in the course of my progression here. Level up again. I'm close to 40 vitality and 40 motivity. And I think this game carries over that soft cap of 40. I saw a tweet today that I thought was interesting. It was talking about the Souls-like genre and how odd it is. Like, there doesn't really seem to be much of a consensus on what precisely defines a Souls-like, which I agree with. But this person also specifically pointed out how it's strange that so many games, in this case presumably referring to Lies of P, carry over a lot of the sort of quirks of the Souls formula, like soft caps of stats at 40. Like, nothing wrong with that, really. It's just like, that's the thing that you choose to carry over. Like, is that really an important... Oh, the fox. An important part of the experience. I was going to maybe drop back down, grind up just a few more souls before I continue, but let's see.
At first, it was money. There was no way out of this dump other than buying your way out. Later, when his sight started failing, all we had was swallowed up by the first few treatments. He was going totally blind. But now, the fruit is useless. I swear on my life as a stalker that your father is safe. My employer promised not to harm him. Not that such a promise is worth anything to you now. But I wanted to set the record straight before, you know. Revenge is all I have left now.
Honestly, fair. I kind of regret killing your brother.
You might be my first real challenge. Come on.
Jesus, all of these are red. Wow. It's amazing. Again, this game doing a really good job whereby, like...
To end this way. I suppose we villains never get to choose.
These characters that at first seemed kind of like strange additions with voice acting that I thought was a little questionable end up being very touching stories. The mask worn by the Red Fox. It is a mask of the aristocrats, crafted with sophistication and refinement. After turning her back on her house, her sole interest was her younger brother she had found on the streets. She had sensed the boy's guilt long before, but she accepted him as her sole family. So she maybe knew that he was lying about being her brother. But I guess at that point, does it really matter if they are actually brothers? Also, that reminded me, I have this. Actually, this is something else I need to... Oh no, this is the decryption. Did I read this? Yeah, okay, I did read this. Okay, so it's this one I'm thinking of, right? Yeah. The train doesn't leave anymore, and the merchant awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town. So I assume that's just the main destroyed town. No gender preference, a request for bastard-style stalker equipment. So now that I have the Fox's equipment, please obtain it by crafting or check if there's an extra in stock. So I need to put that on and go wherever exactly that is. I'm not exactly certain. But presumably I'm going to find another stargazer here. What is all this now? I mean, I know they were doing ergo experiments. I guess I get to... Oh, hi! Should I let him out? I'll let him out. I know that you caused the puppet frenzy. Actually, I don't know that. There was a dialogue option that had me say that, I think, but I don't actually know that you caused the puppet frenzy. I don't think.
It saddens me to see my precious son in a place like this. I wanted you to grow up as a good boy in a peaceful world. And yet, I think all I've taught you is blood and violence. This will be the last time I ask. I promise. Simon has gone completely mad. He's trying to become a god by using a tremendous amount of ergo. I don't know what kind of world he wants to build. Perhaps there's no stopping him. I trust you, my son, and I'm ready for any outcome. But I don't know what you think of me. Speak truthfully, for my sake.
I have to lie, though.
Trustworthy father to
I have to lie. The answer is yes, but I'm gonna say no.
I see.
I feel really bad, but I'm sticking to my guns here.
Earn your trust.
I've lied this whole playthrough.
I wasn't a very good father to you. I gave you more loneliness than love. That's my burden to bear. But remember, there is still plenty of time. Once all this is over, we can become a real family. I promise. I will give it back to you. The happy family we once were.
Also the other Trinity key. It grants access to the Cradle of the Gods at the summit of the Arch Abbey. Simon Manus did not want any interruptions in completing his great enterprise. The enterprise was a ridiculous plan to bring God back to life. How exactly does he have the key to this?
Put an end to it all. And come back to your father's side.
Something's wrong.
You're all I have.
Maybe that's a very obvious statement. Like, so here's the thing. Earlier, a few times in the game, some questions that I've been able to ask or options in this binary morality system have suggested information that I don't actually have. For example, there was a choice earlier, I think just yesterday at some point, talking about how Geppetto calls the puppet frenzy, but unless I'm misremembering, which is possible, I mean, this is my first playthrough, maybe I'm misremembering, nothing actually confirmed that he calls the puppet frenzy. There was that garbled recording by Romeo that I can hear because I'm a puppet and Vanini can't, that mentioned the first rule of the Grand Covenant, and then said the creator is Geppetto, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Geppetto is the creator. I've already known that. That's not new information.
Put an end, son.
But then, like, clearly he's hiding things. I mean, that's just very obvious. On top of which, I don't know, they put hypocrite in the hotel lobby. I don't know what that's about. Why did they keep him alive? Why does he have a key? Like, I wonder if they were dangling Geppetto here to bring me closer so that the guy can absorb my ergo and Sophia's ergo? I really don't know. Cradle of the Gods, though. Okay, well, here we go. Maybe not here we go? Is there another section? Holy shit. Yeah, this looks like a whole area. Okay, well, few things to do. Number one, I can level up. More motivity, thank you. Number two, I want to figure out where the other Trinity door is, but I don't remember. And in the interest of making the stream not really boring, I don't think I'm going to do a sweep to find it. These seemingly have varying uses, some of which I've already used. Some of them are usable, but I've already used the whistle to get an effect. I don't know what the apple's for at all. Still a lot of records I haven't found. And then, of course, this thing down here. The destroyed town, and I'm looking for wherever that is. So let's teleport. The first part's still broken. I don't think it's anywhere here. This doesn't look quite right compared to the picture. You know, the destroyed town can mean a lot of things, but that looks maybe more like Rose Isabelle Street. But I might be messing that up too. No, Rose Isabelle Street is... It's not this, for sure. It's not... Well... Malum District was sort of smaller, winding corridors. And this was the boss fight. I don't think it's the Malum District. Yeah, okay, so the aesthetics there look a lot more like Rose Isabelle Street to me. And I did recently traverse this area looking for Patient 826, who I found. But, you know, like, you see the quality of the, it's like daytime now. Interesting. Like, the quality of the architecture here compared to this. Like, that looks kind of similar. I mean, this picture's at nighttime, but... You need to get your violin tuned. Yeah, so this is where I came into Rose Isabelle Street. Is it Rose or Rosa Isabelle Street? More singing, same as before. It's not here, right? I guess I can put on the mask since it told me to wear the red fox's mask. I don't think it's this. I might have to look at that picture a few more times. Really try to internalize all the details. See, this... I think I'm right that, like, the architecture here does look pretty similar. So there's like a long street, there's a kind of an opening and you can see whatever, I can't quite tell what that building in the background is. The merchant awaits a frozen feast. I'm not quite sure what frozen feast means, but clearly they're waiting for the red fox. Okay, I'll find it. It might be the big street up here, which I believe is where the big evil puppet lies. The big clown that I fought, who rolls a big ball of death at you. Yeah. Maybe like on some side of this. Ball? No ball. I guess we're clearing out the street again. This game's pretty generous with its Fable catalysts and other such resources, which I appreciate. I really like this song. There's patient 826. I don't think it's here, right? Like, there's no way. Whoops. Yeah, nothing's on fire. This is totally wrong. Nothing up there. I'll continue just a little bit further. Yeah, and then this brings you to the big mansion. I mean, so far these decryptions have sort of roughly gone in order, I suppose. Certainly not here. Definitely not the Barren Swamp. Is it here in Cross Central Station? I guess that maybe should have been more obvious than Rose at Isabel Street. So this is where the corrupted parade leader was. And then after this, you pretty much go straight to the hotel, which means if it's in this area, it's going to be backwards. I think. Could be backwards, could be kind of this direction under the bridge. No, this is the broken elevator I took down. Or fell down, more accurately. See, but backwards doesn't feel right either, because this area is just full of these, like, ergo stalagmites. And those were not in the picture. Although, arguably, you know, when that picture was taken... The train doesn't leave anymore. That makes it sound like the very second area, because there was that tram. The merchant awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town. And these are just details. Where the hell is this? Well, I mean, I might as well go search. So here's that path that overlooks the hotel and overlooks the sanctum. I don't think there's anything else over here. I don't know if the big enemy respawns. It does, okay. Run. I don't think it's here. I think I'm wasting my time in this area. I mean, I could just go further back. It's not inside. Maybe I go back to the lobby and work my way out. I'm just thinking, like, at this point, I've been through enough of the game that I can at least begin to imagine how a lot of the areas look. I mean, this certainly fits the bill. It's gotta be here. I'm just running. You can all chase me. I can out-stamina you for days. Oh, Jesus. Where in the bejesus is this? At least this part of the town is not totally ransacked by ergostalagmites. Oh, well, there's that. I was also thinking I could maybe, like, look up at, you know, try to find that landmark in the picture. I'm looking at, like, on the kind of left upper part of the image, whatever that building is with all those little squares or rectangles, kind of looks like a sign, but I can't tell what it says. It's not Vanini's factory. A lot of the areas very clearly don't match the aesthetic. Hello, do you have anything new to say?
Buy something.
Nope. See, and then it's all destroyed, so it's not going to be here either. Where the hell is it? That! That's what it is. See that? It's that. So I don't think I can get there from here, but yeah, it'd be like back over in that direction, which would imply... No, see how this is going out in the wrong direction? Unless I can look at it from the other side. I guess I can look at it from the other side, so maybe it is out this way. So it's like kind of over in that direction. I feel like if I could go back in time to like the beginning part of the game before everything got annihilated and destroyed and messed up, then I could find where this is referring to, because I don't think anything in this freaking courtyard remotely matches that staircase. And beyond, so that means it can't be here. It means it must be a different part of the map where you can see that landmark. Maybe I was right in my first assessment. Definitely not any of this. Definitely not any of that. Rosa Isabelle Street. I think it's got to be Rosa Isabelle Street. Let's go to the culvert and go backwards. I guess this would kind of make... Wait, no, never mind, actually. I got confused with the white lady. I was going to say the red lady doesn't necessarily have any connection to this area. I mean, maybe she does. I like this music, though. I feel like I'm being really dumb. You know, as these areas really aren't that big, which is what you want out of a Souls games, actually. Like, once you explore them, and especially once you're overpowered enough to just kind of run through them freely, you really don't actually want them to be very big. And so, of the areas that could potentially fit that landmark, where is left? Because this is just a big street. I don't think it's anything here. Yeah, this is the backside of this. And here's the first part of Rosa Isabelle Street that I've already been through. I am very confused. I haven't had nearly as much trouble finding the others. This one's obvious. This one was not that hard. This one was not that hard. This one was obvious. The train doesn't leave anymore, and the merchant awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town. The merchant awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town? All these other ones are like pointing to what they need to do. It's saying throw something at the guy. Go here. There's an NPC there to talk to, who I never found again, by the way. Open the gate. What is a frozen feast? I don't know if I have any like ice-based moves, and I'm not sure what the symbol indicates, unless that's meant to be like a specific weapon. I don't think it'd be like a specific weapon, because that'd be pretty shitty if it's like, hey, here in the end game, you need a very specific weapon for some reason. Yep, and then here's the hotel again. What in the... Where in the hell is this? It's telling you what to do. Orders. Strike the puppet. Check the ground. Enter the shack. Find the cave. The merchant awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town. Those aren't orders, that's just a statement. An order form is attached for mutual trust. They want bastard-style stalker equipment, which I have. Is the frozen feast referring to some mask? And none of these are associated with, like, cold. And I also don't have the fox's outfit, like I only have her mask. I'm sure you could get far more masks than I got if you took slightly different choices in the playthrough. The merchant. Which merchant? What if I go back to this? Here's a merchant in the destroyed town. right? Wasn't there a merchant in here?
Buy something.
Yeah, I don't really... I'm very confused. I feel dumb, and I also don't want to, you know, waste the whole playthrough doing this, especially when I have the option of going to what I assume to be the final boss, or something very close to the final boss. But this just doesn't make sense to me. It says, orders, the merchant awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town, right? That means bring a frozen feast to the merchant in the destroyed town? But I don't know where the fuck this is. There's only a few places. I found that building in the background, which is this one. Maybe I just need to continue in this area a little bit, and maybe I'll find someone. I mean, I've already gone through this area, but, like, it could be that that picture's just out of date, or maybe it's that that landmark is not as distinctive as I thought it was, and there's actually multiple of them. You know, maybe it's, like, over here or something. Already read that one. I don't see any, like, merchant back over here that's... that's secretly part of what is now a destroyed town, and it wasn't before. Oh god, you're big. Oh, it could be maybe up around the side if I go to one of the later bonfires. Okay, this is looking a little more promising as far as finding something that matches the description. Yeah, maybe I just didn't come far forward enough for this. I still don't know what in the hell it means by Frozen Feast. I don't recall anything in this game that I have gotten or that has been referred to anything resembling a Frozen Feast. Yeah, and this area, while parts of it... See, there's a train car off from the hotel. I don't know if that means anything. Because that's the other thing when it says that the train doesn't run anymore. Like, there was a train, like, closer to, I don't think it's down there. There was like a train car I took, but the aesthetics of that area I don't think were anything like this. Or maybe it was, and maybe I'm just losing my mind. Where was that train car? It was in like the maybe 2/3 of the way through the game. The train doesn't run anymore. I want to say it was how I got to the first part of the Grand Exhibition. So maybe if I go... Here's Grand Exhibition. Maybe it's after this. Maybe it's foolish of me to expect to uncover all of these secrets in a Souls game on my first playthrough. Maybe you're just meant to be very confused. No, it could actually be in this area. This is looking similar-ish to the picture. If I can find just a slightly open area. Come on, I really want it to be here somewhere. That looked vaguely noteworthy. It's got to be here somewhere. I mean, look at how similar this is looking to the picture. I don't know if the time of day is consistent or whether it just totally changes. That was just for a little chest. It's not here. This thing's strong, as I recall. But not strong enough for me. Okay, so this is not where the train was. Because here you just walk into the Lorenzini arcade. Maybe the door to the Trinity place I found was in the Lorenzini arcade. Maybe I should take another pass through there. Where in the bejesus is this? Excuse me, fellas. Taking another pass through here would be different. That would just be searching for the Trinity door. I could have sworn I took the trolley to the Grand Exhibition. Can I go to the beginning of the gallery and go backwards? Like back outside, maybe? Because I know there's that big area out in front. But then I feel like they would have said something about the Grand Exhibition. The note mentions the destroyed town. Stop hitting me. Yeah, and I had to make a whole winding pass to originally get into the arcade. Maybe this isn't where I took the tram to get, because I remember there's the tram. That's where I found the fox and the black cat originally. So I could go back to the arcade and go forward again. What's back this way? Okay, no, so this does just exit out the front. Son of a bitch, where was that tram? Where was that tram? Because I don't know what other train it would be referring to. Again, every other note was very direct as to what it wanted. It's like, go to this place, but I can't find where the place is. And it's not in any of the obvious places I would expect it to be. I guess I'll go check out Elysian Boulevard again. Since there's that, that train here that isn't running anymore either, because it's destroyed by the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. You see basically that train car that they destroyed. Oh, that train car. Okay, so is it in this area? This is the beginning of it, not here. The destroyed town certainly sounds like it could refer to this as well. I mean, could refer to a lot of different areas. Ha, 69 souls. Nice. So this is a shortcut, but we'll take the shortcut first. And that leads me upstairs. I'm going to stay on the ground for now. There's also multiple ground levels you can reach in this area. Okay, that's just the first one again. I'm sorry if this is boring. I cannot believe I'm having such trouble finding this. I haven't found anywhere that looks like that yet. Or, I mean, in my recent search. Don't knock me off. Oh my god. I'm alive. Alright, well, let's explore down here. Unless this is just the same place again. It is. Okay, well, let's go back up. I kind of like I was able to survive that, though. I would have expected, you know, some system where you just get insta-killed after a certain distance, but, like, it seems to actually just straight up scale the damage, and I'm tanky enough to survive it. See, like, the architecture here certainly matches the description, but, again, where is a picture that looks remotely like what that one showed? That staircase with the big open streets. Of course, they mention a merchant. There's a lot of merchants. Like, there's this merchant, for example.
For your information.
What in the fuck is this referring to? I don't know what the Frozen Feast is. There are no trains in this game. There are trams. I guess the train doesn't leave anymore would clearly refer to the train station, but this picture is nowhere close to the train station. It would be after it, but I already explored after it. Unless it is there and I just somehow missed it. Unless I'm meant to make an additional leap of, like, that picture was taken, that was super old, and now it's destroyed, so it's going to look totally different, which could happen, but that dog just broke a window. Yeah, and now we're back up here. And this just leads to the petrification zone. And then this is just back where I was 10 seconds ago. Yep, backs out of that elevator. Here's the bridge. You. This is just going to be the whole stream today, and I'm never going to beat the game because I'm never going to find this. How silly that the developers forgot to put the place in the game where they put the picture. This would take me to the big ol' fight. With the policeman. Which, yeah, no, it just goes straight into the policeman fight. There's nothing here that remotely resembles where I actually want to be. And also, there are no merchants in that town except the one I went to. I guess let's continue for a short while. Maybe that's where I got the whistle. Maybe I'll magically find the answer out here. Is it in here, like prior to the factory? But nothing in the picture showed the factory. It pretty clearly just showed, like, the town. Yeah, it's not going to be here either. This is very clearly just pre-factory. I mean, kind of fun to run through these old areas again, but not really what I'm looking for right now. Okay, back to the frickin' And it's not inside here. This is strictly inside. And so the closest thing to outside would be here, and then you move forward, which I already did. I'm leaning more and more towards... I don't know. The most likely answer, Occam's Razor, is still that there is an area that visually matches that picture, and I've just missed it. All of that is inside. So here we are on the outside, okay? You can't go over that way. This is just a big courtyard. There's nothing else in it. I mean, there's some enemies roaming around, but... Yep, and I already came through here. And actually, I've been through this area twice, basically, because you also go through it at the start of the game. Yep, none of these areas remotely match. It's not here. There's the bar. It's not here. What the fuck? And now we're here again. Yeah, it's none of this. It's not any of this. I already went to cross Central Station Street and I went backwards. I explored the whole collapsed street. There is a merchant in the abandoned apartment. The train doesn't leave anymore. I mean, the other thing, yeah, that I was thinking is go find where that train was. I already talked to you, and you didn't have anything to say, and then it's not here. It's not here, and I already went past it, and... This is the sort of thing that I might even just Google for at this point, but... I don't want to do that because I haven't finished the game yet, and Googling any solutions to a game you haven't beaten just risks Google trying to be very helpful and just giving you some thumbnail that spells out something that you didn't ask for. Train doesn't run anymore. This is the only thing in the game that is train-esque. And I got to this from the underside of another area, and then I was strictly inside the train station. So it's not like there's... Going here is going to be useless as far as finding that spot. I already went here and moved forward. There's nothing else in the collapsed street. And Cross Central Station Street just goes forward to the fight. And then that brings you to the hotel, or you go along the seaside, and there's nothing there. It's not here or here. Definitely not in the barren swamp. Maybe it was after the Grand Exhibition Conference Room. Maybe that's where the tram was, but again, I don't think the aesthetic here is going to match the picture. Like, this street vaguely looks kind of like that picture, but I've been here too on Rosa Isabelle Street, and there was nothing. Okay, well, I was right. This is where the tram is, but this is pretty pointless to me. Where does this tram even bring me to? Can I just get this? This brings me to the swamp, which is not where I want to be. Okay, well, I don't think anyone here is going to give me any clues. That hasn't been the case so far.
I always
I guess I have a quartz. I can go stick that in. There must be some other area of the game that has that aesthetic that I've missed. Okay, what do I even want? I don't really want that. This is good, but I don't really care about it all that much. That's pretty good. It seems very unlikely at this point that I'm going to get this many additional quartz. I could see myself getting like maybe 2 more quartz. And honestly, that's not that good for my playstyle, nor is that. Staggerable window would be good. Of all of these, I'm thinking maybe go for... Yeah, I don't know. None of those. I guess this. Just to up the odds that I actually get a second one and unlock something more useful. Can I interact with this yet? Oh. Is that a weapon? Golden Lie. Blunt weapon cannot disassemble. See motivity and technique scaling. A mystical wooden... I did not expect this to be a weapon. A mystical wooden rod obtained from the boy's portrait. Fascinatingly, it extends and retracts at the whim of Geppetto's puppet. There are 2 kinds of lies. Yours is the lie that makes your nose long. The boy loved the fairy tale about the wooden puppet's adventure. At least the wooden puppet's father was kind. Let me go out to the courtyard and test this. Which way's the courtyard? I'm slightly heavy. In the interest of making sure that I... Well, whatever, let me just see it. That's a cool moveset. Heavy attacks. What about my charged heavy? Pretty fast. Okay, that's cool. I didn't expect that to be a weapon. I mean, I'm still probably not going to use it. I'm going to stick with my baton, but I like that. Boy, I really want to find where this secret leads. Also, for that matter, I want to find the other Trinity key location, which I found before, and I thought that I recalled being maybe somewhere past the Malum district. did just have an idea of where it was. So most likely answer is that there's an area that I've missed. I can't go back here because now these areas are basically superseded by their destroyed version. I think I've fully explored this. It's probably not past the courtyard, but let's go check. I'm very close to giving up on this. I hope the answer isn't some bullshit. I hope it's just that I missed a location somewhere. And the fact that it says that the trains don't... Actually, I already went through this, so never mind. The fact that it says the trains don't run anymore indicates the train station. In the destroyed town, an order form is attached for mutual trust. A request for bastard-style stalker equipment. So I have the Fox's equipment, or at least her mask. It's so weird to me. All the other ones are so clear. It's like, go here and destroy it. And then, you know, there's some extra information, but pretty much go here and destroy it. Check the ground. Go here. Go here. And this is just some nonsense. The merchant awaits a frozen feast implies go to this area where it's pointing to and provide a frozen feast. I don't have any concept of what that could be referring to. And more to the point, I can't figure out where this is. I see some building in the background with the tall things. I've only seen that in one place. Let me try going over to the left side of this again. Like, this is very clearly the destroyed town, right? Oh, this is the back side of this. I guess I'll run through here. No, it's not in here. I've been through all of this, and this just leads up top where I already have a shortcut to. It's not that. It's not that. Let's go back to the previous one, which brings me out into the destroyed town. I want to see if the name explicitly refers to it as the destroyed town. It's not up there. I wonder if I can jump this. Nope. That's fine. Learning. We call that learning. Gotta break a few eggs and make an omelet. Maybe there's some place you can make that jump, but let me just get my money back. So I wanted to go check out over here again. Oh my god, it's right here. Okay, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry that took me so long. The train doesn't... Yeah, that should have been a lot more obvious in hindsight. Are they coming up here?
Who are you? I make deals only with established
Did I
clients
never
as a
speak to
rule.
this person before? I don't... Because I know I came over here. Maybe I never talked to this character?
What? Why are you showing me that? That's too suspicious for me. I'm not interested in third-rate stalkers like you. Piss off.
What? What? Awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town? Show weapon? Does that mean show my current weapon? What weapon do I have to... Do I need to show them my freaking golden lie?
Who are you? I make deals only with established clients as a rule. What? Why are you showing me that? That's too suspicious.
It says show the weapon. What weapon am I showing? Like my current weapon? Do I need to have a very specific weapon for this to work? At least I know where the guy is now. I'm embarrassed that took me so long to find. Also, this description is shit. The train doesn't leave anymore. That... I guess that doesn't hurt. The merchant awaits a frozen feast in the destroyed town. What weapon is a frozen feast? A request for bastard-style stalker equipment. Refer to the daughter of the Wolf family, codename Fox's equipment. So I guess I have the mask. I don't have Fox's equipment. How do I get Fox's equipment? None of the other ones have required that I have specific weapons. I mean, I did sell all my other weapons, but even then, I'm pretty sure none of them had anything to do with being frozen. New plan. Yeah, I must have not talked to that character. I really did not recall a merchant being over there. Granted, I haven't really paid much attention to merchants this playthrough, but still. Paulandina, are you still Paulandina?
Welcome to...
Strange.
I wanted to go talk to this hound knockoff.
I want to give Aladoro's belongings to someone who knows their worth. It's what he would have wanted.
I don't know how to prove my worth, though. Oh my god. What the fuck? How in the hell was I... Do I have to do a New Game Plus cycle to uncover this? Like, this is the end of the game. Okay, what were they thinking? You just need this very specific weapon. What's with the item description talking about bastard-style weapons and the fox? Because this has fucking nothing to do with the fox. The Reborn Champion? Isn't that Victor? What the hell does that have to do with the fox? Or stalkers at all? So, I mean, I was wrong that none of the weapons... I was half wrong. I was half wrong because what I was thinking is that there was no weapon that had like an ice effect or had any description related to ice. And if you look at this description over here, like on the right, nothing refers to cold or ice. Frozen here seems to refer to like freezing time. So apart from this weapon being called Frozen Feast, it doesn't have any association with ice whatsoever. So that's why I was half wrong in thinking that there were no weapons that matched that description. Mostly I'm just justifying to myself here. So I guess I'm just fucked. Because what else did I get? I got the Arm of God amulet, which I think, can I like sell it back or something? That's really shitty. There is no earthly way I could have possibly known that this one arbitrary weapon was going to be required for a quest later. But I guess no use whining about it. Hey, lurking in the wires. This is just my casual playthrough. I'm almost, well, I guess I don't know for sure. I'm almost done with the game. And in fact, I'm just going to continue forward. So I assume I'm at the final boss. And if I'm not, then I'm certainly very close to the final boss. I've spent the last, like, hour and a half trying to seek out one of these decoded vessels that you give to Venini. It took me an embarrassingly long time to find the location of this one, which I finally did, except that the merchant wants a specific weapon that I can no longer get until presumably the next New Game Plus cycle. This may not actually be enough for 2 level ups. We'll see. Oh, it is. Oh, it's actually more than enough. Okay, sweet. Well, I don't know if there's a soft cap. I mean, I might as well just put... This only gets me 1 more damage. This gets me 7 more health. I guess I could just get more stamina. I really have put very little into stamina this whole playthrough. I haven't really felt like I've needed it, and maybe that's because I'm using a relatively light weapon. Okay, well, after that very long detour, back to it. Assassin's Amulet, what's that do? Increases critical attack. They believed the reputation they earned from working behind the scenes in the underworld would be eternal. However, fame is useless before the gallows. True. Shake off the salt. Maybe it's my own fault for preemptively buying some of those. Where's my weapon? Oh, that was weird. It was still, like, equipped to my secondary, even though I didn't actually have a secondary equipped anymore. Oh, God. Oh, the moves. What is... Oh, disruption. Oh my gosh, this enemy's harder than a boss. I guess that's what I get for not really respecting the incoming attacks. Could be worse. Let's use the cube. Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, I'm tanky enough that I can kind of just smack my way through a lot of different enemies, which is good because it means that I can survive, but it's bad because, well, I can slop through a lot of enemies without really understanding them. And then I can just do that. Yeah, I know you. I'm impressed at how much this sentence is going to be grammatically incorrect. I'm impressed at how much level there is in this area. Like, I kind of would have expected a big elevator bringing me up to the top a lot sooner. Wow, look at that. Yeah, there's where I started. I wonder how accurate these vistas are. There's the hotel. Pretty recognizable landmark. That's probably the big church. Can I just fall onto this? I mean, I'll take damage, but yeah.
Did you feel that? It's like someone walked across my grave.
You're dead?
I sense ergo everywhere. I mean, this place is saturated with it. Like what you'd expect from a mountain of dead puppets.
I'm still not quite sure what to make of Gemini. Like, it seems like he hasn't had the same interaction that a lot of other characters have had, where like they have some histories with each other and refer to each other. Gemini's just kind of his own thing. And I know that Gemini's a puppet, but Sophia also said that my Gemini unit, I guess, is special, but I don't know how or why. Oh, hey, it's one of you. But you're, like, disrupting me now? Oh my goodness, I need to get away from this thing. Like, I'm still gonna fight it, but I need that disruption to wear off, or I'm gonna die in an instant. See if I can't take out this guy first. Good. Oh, I see. He kind of punches a little path of disruption on the ground. Interesting. Good. And that's one way to take him out. And I got a quartz for it. And I don't think there were any other enemies here. All of that, I assume, is just a path backwards from where I've already been. I'm still certainly leaning on my tankiness to get through these encounters, but pretty happy with how I played that. Definitely would have died if I hadn't cleared out the disruption. That's an insta-kill. I think it's an insta-kill. Hey, I know you. Let's play Try Not to Fall Off. This character always looks like a caddy to me. It's very, very funny. Or at least marginally funny. It's like a Reddit laugh, like where you just exhale out of your nostrils very slightly. That kind of laugh. Like, I understand that this is amusing, but not funny enough to elicit an actual audible laugh. Oh, look, it's their church. The Church of the Arm of God. So said Peastry III. I, Adriana, recorded for the brothers and sisters. Praise Peastri, I still don't know if I'm saying that right, the one who will swallow even God. Listen, my brothers and sisters, I, Peastri, shall tell you about the true eternal life. An angel's gift was something humans dare not enjoy. Many humans died with hope in their hearts, and the ones who lived harbored rage instead of death. Eventually, humans destroyed and burned their hope on their own. That is how the angel became the god. That is how the angel became the god torn to death. But today, there are definitely those who survived with the blessing. They, the immortal ones, still walk around and wish for the resurrection of God. I clearly told the truth I witnessed. Now you shall all follow this path. I mean, I think it's a very common thing. It's just I have heard it referred to as a Reddit laugh, and it's a pretty apt descriptor. Let's top off. I think I have plenty of heals and probably, yep. Well, hey, I recognize this from the cutscene. Good gracious, that's evil. That's just the most evil thing in the world. Simon Manus's confession. A father is like God to his son. Even I, Simon, was no different in my youth, but the one who created me was no normal human, and my abilities were extraordinary. You're a failure too. The ability to read minds. Being abandoned in front of God meant the world's destruction. From then on, my life existed to make a world without lies. A world where no one betrays you and there's only truth, even if it's forced. Now the finale is here. Once the door is open, it can't be closed. For humankind, I, Simon, gave up being human and decided to walk the path of immortality and truth. My body will be broken and reformed as the God that was torn apart. I leave this record in my last moments as a human. Simon Peastri Manus. Well, damn. Look at the detail on these, like, light pieces. So how much do I need to level up again? I need 16k, and I don't think I have actually any... I do. I kind of want to get enough to just level up twice, and then I don't need to worry about... I mean, I already don't need to worry about money, but it'll be really quick to go grind out... grind out 7k, and also go spend... I'm going to put my quartz in. I'm going to do a real quick grind of 7,000 souls. Level up one more time. Up to 15 in stamina, and then I will go face the final boss. I've got a plan of attack. There's still that Trinity door I didn't open, but I'm okay just leaving that for now, or maybe I can go back to it later. So at this point, I'm not thinking about exploration anymore. It's all about what is going to marginally help the final boss fight. Probably not any of these, because I don't really care about any of those. This could be pretty good if I have to use it again. Legion, I'm probably not going to end up using in the fight. This could be good, but again, I really haven't struggled with stamina very much, but that's on the table. Charges Fable when a perfect guard is successful. That's pretty good. That's high on the tier list here. What about survival type? Anything useful? I mean, I've already gotten some of the really good ones. Could also just get a passive, more special resistance. I don't know if this boss is going to have disruption and whatnot. Let me just grab this. Give myself that extra little boost. That's so intriguing. It like grew a weapon out of the nose. I did not expect that. Alright, where's a good place to go to quickly grind out some money? Somewhere that is relatively easy. How about here? Just a quick 7K, that's child's play. Oh, interesting. This game does the same, like, lower FPS animation in the distance thing that Dark Souls does. That is interesting to me. Hello, Disruption Dog. I keep wanting to call these things demo dogs, like Stranger Things. I could kill the big guy. I think I'd rather, whatever, just kill the big guy. See how many souls he gives me. Oh, let's kill you. I could just make a loop around this courtyard, honestly. Okay, that's like 1,500 right there. That's absolutely worth. Yeah, that loop right there got me like 3,000. What about some enemies in here? Now, we'll just go courtyard again. That guy's a little harder to kill. Realistically, still not all that hard, but you know, I figure take out the easy guys. Oh wait, why didn't it? Sometimes it seems to just not really do like the uppy attack that I want it to do. There we go. Okay, just a little more. Let's take you out. There we go. That's enough. Level up. Then I'll TP back, take a real quick bathroom break, and then head into the final boss. Unless this isn't the final boss, then the final boss is frickin' Geppetto somehow. Okay, BRB. Hello, I'm back. Let's see what this is all about. Most of the... really all of the major bosses in this game have been very, very good. I think many of them have been some of the best Souls bosses I've ever fought. We'll see if this one keeps that trend up.
Is it not magnificent? Distilled immortality and a key that opens a world with no lies. A key that unlocks true evolution. Give thanks. Ergo is a gift from me, Simon Manus, who will transgress even God. Bow down to your God, who will be born now!
Well, I'm fucked.
Everything you have, Papa Dr. Pembo.
I'm doing a lot of damage. Whoops. Whoa! Jesus, the speed on that attack. Okay, just a lot of swings. Very delayed in the air. Okay. It's interesting he's like coughing, and like clearly this is taking a toll on him. Okay, a little early on that. Thought that might stagger. He hit me out of the air. What a pro. I can't tell whether like that's his hand on the back or just some spindly appendage. Obviously this has a phase 2, maybe even a phase 3. There have not been any 3-phase bosses in this game yet. I wonder if this will be one.
This is evolution. Behold, as I discard this fragile body.
Good lord.
Witness me as I grasp the power of a true god.
He's got like a extra set of teeth on his shoulder. Is that another creature inside of that? Oh, he's got multiple mouths. What the fuck? Yeah, pretty much Lurker. Well, I was kind of fucked before, now I'm even more fucked. Okay, what is this now? What is this? Elden Beast! I already fought the Elden Beast! Almost. I was a little late on that. What is this now? Okay, so not too bad to dodge those. Those are gonna come back to me. Good block. Okay, that was lucky. I've never seen that attack before. Okay, some of those coming back. Actually, those seem to be exploded immediately. Oh, I need to let my stamina come back. Oh, that disrupts you. Shit, okay. I don't know if this is fair of me. Despite how epic this is, I find myself feeling very underwhelmed because maybe it's something about the direction of the voice acting. Like, the way he says, evolution. It's like, I feel like I've heard every villain in every video game talk about evolution in exactly the same way, you know? Like, it's a fine premise, I think just the delivery of it felt kind of stereotypical to me. Maybe that's unfair.
Show me everything you have. Open
Whoops.
up Geppetto.
A little early on that. Good, he's burning. Stamina. Okay, then he runs forward and does multiple hits. And the music's like kind of the... I think I'm just kind of tired of the big chorus, big violins, da 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 da. Like, yeah, I get it, it's epic. I kind of want something a little more subtle. Another way to look at it would be that the most effective emotional moments in this game for me so far have been the softer ones with NPCs. I feel like I'm being beaten over the head with a big stick here, saying, you will be impressed. But maybe I'll feel differently. I mean, I'm still, you know, on the very first. Very early in this fight. So I need to avoid those. That destruction will wreck me. I could use a disruption, like, resistance thing here. I guess I have plenty of them. I might as well. Maybe get in the habit of using it right at the beginning of Phase 2. These special resistance ampule. I could also equip the purification one, but I feel like it probably the play is just going to be to get used to dodging them.
Show me everything you have. Open up Geppetto. The next evolution is coming. It will be true, not lies.
Okay, so he just hits you out of the air. Probably not a good idea to keep trying that. Now there's a follow-up here. Yep. Oh, there's two follow-ups there. Good phase, good phase. I could probably sprint away from this rather than doing a bunch of dodges. Okay, so that's just kind of a spray. Followed by multiple hits. I thought that was going to be an explosion. Gotta move. I think that was a... Oh, I thought that was a thing in the air. Never mind. Okay, good. I got him burning. Excellent. That's a lot of free damage. Okay, and once he does that, it's going to start, I think, spawning explosions on me. A little late. Is this like a phase 2 within the phase 2? What is that? Oh my god, he's got a big hand. It's Master Hand. Good. I need to get away from this. Even though I've got him in staggerable state, I need to move. Okay. Oh. He's still staggerable. Oh, I could have had him there. Maybe I need to use another resistance module here. Come on. I could also use... Okay, gotta get away from this. I think that's just a massive AoE. Yep. Early. Way early. Way early. That's tricky. Oh shit, run. Run, run, run. Bad attack. Phase 3? I got an achievement. Unless it's a fake out achievement. That felt very easy. I know I'm overpowered. But even without being overpowered, the complexity wasn't very complex there. But let me stop bitching.
So, it comes to this. The Blue Fairy, Sophia, decides the winner. Truly, I envy you. The puppet my Sophia keeps turning back time to save. Is it her sense of duty? Or her contempt for me? Or does she truly care for you? I gave up predicting Sophia's actions long ago. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. Sophia, what have you done to her? Sophia.
I've lied this whole playthrough. I'm gonna keep lying.
The lies have gotten to you, puppet of Geppetto. I know how to read memories. Your clumsy lies are pointless. So let's try the truth. Knowing the truth of people's minds is a curse. I would not have been able to bear it if it weren't for Sophia. Her pure heart was a tonic for my pain. That's why I wanted her. I did. But I couldn't have her in the end. So I tried to use this power to hold her. Even if these hands never could. It's fine, Vargon. Let me warn.
So not the final boss. $15,000, wow. The boy was among those who were made to live an immortal life. However, he was deemed a failure and abandoned, and then he set out on a journey to become a god to prove himself. Oh, I thought this was a weapon. Arm of God. The Arm of God, obtained after defeating Simon Manus. It is a mysterious relic that the alchemists treat as a sacred object. The alchemists believed that there was once a god who was ripped to shreds, trying to give immortal life to the humans he so loved, and they wanted to revive him. However, the god who was deep in sleep never answered their prayers. Really? Because it kind of seemed like... I don't know, like if you look at Bloodborne, there are actual great ones, like these eldritch beings that are beyond human understanding. I don't know if there are similar... Okay, I'm not going to go down just yet. I don't know if there are similar gods in this game. Like, you know, obviously there's supernatural elements, the most notable one being Urgo giving life to these puppets, and also the petrification disease and the carcasses, but like, a lot of people in this game have talked about gods. I don't know if there are actual gods or great ones, or whether that's just, you know, the humans talking a big game about their ambition.
Strange.
I want to give Alador...
Noblesse oblige? What a name. Consume a set amount of Urgo to deal big damage to enemies. Interesting. A mystical cudgel made from an Urgo crystal tree. While battering enemies, it emits spores, increasing the Urgo acquisition rate. The stalker who desires wealth made a contract with the devil that liked music to gain a cudgel. Along with this, he was gifted with overflowing Urgo and the petrification disease. What about an amulet here? Increases Fable Art damage inflicted on a staggered enemy. That doesn't seem very good. When God awakens, he will be like a bird who has just cracked open his shell. He will possess tremendous abilities that can change the world, yet be as innocent as a child, among Simon Manus' sayings. I think I'm just going to use the thing for extra cash. How much do I have among these two? Not very much. But I think that's enough for another level up. Yeah, I only need 16,000. I feel like I've needed 16,000 for a few of them now. I wonder if anyone has anything new to say.
I always welcome.
You're here.
I don't know if Geppetto's back. I didn't look at the teleporter to see if his icon was here. I think I was totally right in being wary of Geppetto, though. And apparently, I'm someone who's been brought back to life over and over again by Sophia. But if that's true, I'm unclear how being Geppetto's puppet plays into things. Nor do I know exactly how the Arm of God is used. And I'm still unclear on Geppetto's relationship with the alchemists. I'm sure I will learn more, so this isn't a criticism. I just genuinely don't know. Like, even before I got here, like, Geppetto was obviously acting suspicious, but then also, like, he was captured, but there were no guards, really. And, like, somehow he had a key to the Cradle of the Gods. And also a contraption like this. Venigni earlier in the game is described as not just building puppets, but having a hand in, like, all sorts of inventions, and this certainly seems like the sort of thing that Venini might have a hand in, but Venini so far has not given me any evil vibes. He gives me the vibes of someone who suffered severe childhood trauma and sort of overcompensates by being this prince of high society and talking a big game about how brilliant he is, but really he's, you know, a child who suffered heavy trauma and leaned on his butler for companionship. I don't get any negative vibes from Venini, and I hope he doesn't turn out to be evil. But Geppetto is obviously super evil.
Now him, he really scared me.
Is
A
that the right
human
tone right
becoming
now?
a god? Terrifying. But a puppet becoming a human, now you have my attention.
Is now the time to be
Suit
cracking
yourself,
jokes?
But sounds fun to me. I wonder, what'll happen now?
I'm gonna stop whining. I can feel myself getting a little negative.
But I do know one thing. You're stuck with me, and I'm stuck with you, pal. Wouldn't have it any other way. Huh?
That's Geppetto. I don't know whether I want him to be evil or not, even though he probably is.
I knew you could do it. We have all the ingredients we need. I dreamed of this day for so long. The moment you'd come back to life. You can be human again. By using that vast supply of ergo and the arm of God. I just need the final ingredient. The one that holds your memories and your lifespan. Your heart. If you give me your heart, all these trials and tribulations will be over. You have been a brilliant and a good boy. As your reward, I shall turn you into a real boy. Give me your heart, son.
So obviously I'm gonna say no.
I believed you were a good boy.
So now I'm gonna fight him, I assume?
But you insist on breaking my heart. Well, I suppose Carlo was mischievous. It seems you inherited his personality instead of his memories. But a father always looks after his children. Even naughty ones that must be punished, like you. In my own way, I grew to love you. After all, you're the puppet who would bring my son back to life. I'm disappointed in you. I didn't mean for this to happen. I believed you were a good boy.
Is he gonna be a puppet too?
If you refuse, then I'll have to retrieve it myself.
Who's this?
My son.
Jesus.
my son. I know bound you to the Grand Covenant and the other puppets because of Carlo's memories within you. You had gone astray. Troublesome little puppet. Your future is not for you, but for Carlo.
I'm having a lot of thoughts. I'm not trying to just sit here quietly, but I'm having a lot of thoughts, some good, some bad.
No father wants to resort to the lash, but there's no other way.
So who is this now? Like, is this his real son? Like his actual son? And I'm, you know, the puppet that was meant to be reborn or something?
How dare you? You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
Oh my god, that was a lucky miss. What? What? Is this actual Eugenie, or was that some, like, replaying of my memories? Because this can't actually be Eugenie. That would be... Oh, okay. Thank God. I thought this was, like, actually Eugenie somehow, but it's just, like, replaying my memories or something. These are going to be really hard for me to learn. Yeah, I'm just burning through heals here. Jesus. I mean, every single combo's just wrecking me. Oh, okay, there's a follow to that. That is so fast. So close. So close. So here's what I'm gathering. Geppetto had a son named Carlo. Carlo died somehow. I'm kind of unclear when Geppetto said son in that cutscene, whether that was some, you know, derisive son, like directed at me, or whether that was referring to that corpse thing, like maybe that was some early iteration of trying to bring his son back.
You can become a real human. Come to me, my son.
1, 2.
I never welcomed you to the Grand Covenant, my brother puppet, because of Carlo's memories within you.
But then you just said I didn't have Carlos memories. Like, I don't have Carlos memories, right? I'm trying to learn these timings. Are very, very strange.
I know
1, 2.
troublesome little puppet.
Yeah, it is. I actually really like the premise of, you know, Geppetto kind of took these extreme measures to try to bring his son back to life.
Carlo.
That's really touching to me. It's just, I feel like Geppetto turned on a dime here. And that could be, you know, explained as like,
To the Flash. There's no other way.
that could be explained as, you know, he was basically just lying to you to be nice to get you to go do his dirty work until you eventually get the hand of God.
Human might.
I'm gonna let this play out for a minute while I talk. It could be that he was intentionally lying to, you know, force you to eventually get the hand of God. And so his turning on a dime wasn't really so much turning on a dime as him finally dropping the act. But to me, that still maybe loses some nuance, because the character that I am now, I assume that I look exactly like Carlo, right? Probably he built me to look like Carlo. And even though I don't have his memories, I still seemingly inherited his personality. Like, I would think he might feel more conflicted in this scene. Like, you know, he's trying to bring his boy back to life, but that would mean maybe risking this puppet version of it. But instead it was just kind of like, it feels like generic evil. Three, 4. 2, 3. And again, with this music being kind of like, oh my god, it's dark, evil music, it kind of just strikes me as a little on the nose. Like, I know that this is a serious scene. I'm fighting this thing with half a head. As you know, Geppetto's doomed an entire city, killed probably thousands or millions of people, along with sentient puppets in this attempt to bring his son back to life and cheat death. Like, it's very serious. I feel like I don't need to be smacked over the head with, look at all this serious music to understand that. Does that make sense? And I understand that, you know, maybe you would consider that like a bad faith take. I don't think it's a, and I'm not saying that anyone actually did say this, but just thinking out loud, I don't think it's bad faith, because I don't think that the developers are trying to smack me over the head with it, but that's how it comes across. And like that last boss, for example, not this one, but the Simon up top, it wasn't just that I'm overpowered now and can, you know, tank through a lot of it. It's that, yeah, it feels a little bit like that. Compared to Gwyn's music from Dark Souls 1, which is very somber, because the story of Gwyn is that this legendary Lord of Cinder, you know, arguably the most powerful one, who bequeathed his Lord Soul to Seath and the Four Kings, like, even he, after everything, hollowed. And so when you fight him, he's this shell of a person that, even though Gwyn is very powerful, he's the shell of his former self, this general who took out the immortal dragons. And in the end, he's just this kind of pitiful being who attacks you on sight as you walk into his room, and the music reflects that. Now, obviously, on a first-time playthrough, many players are not going to recognize that, or they don't care, and you could debate whether or not, you know, everything I just said is subjective. You could do the fight and say, I didn't get that impression at all. but I think that's what they were going for. I don't know for sure that that's what FromSoft was going for because I don't work at FromSoft and I don't know Miyazaki, but I think that's what they were going for. And this game has a lot of lore. It probably has a lot more concrete information to latch onto than Dark Souls, or probably any of the Souls games. But this pivot on a dime at the end, it comes across to me as like sort of retroactively tainting a little bit of what came before. I mean, you know, you always have to, with a game of this scope, you always have to spend a little bit of time thinking about it and reading about it and watching other people play to, you know, let your opinion solidify. But there was a comparable problem in Elden Ring, maybe to a lesser extent, where, like, I'll go into the fight soon. I won't sit here talking forever. Without going into specific spoilers, near the end of Elden Ring, it's effectively a boss rush. Like, there are still some areas to go through, but largely it's fight several bosses all in a row, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but compared to the more interleaved format of most of the game, which is fighting major bosses and exploring for a while, and this game does the same thing. It's like, I just fought that boss, I came downstairs and immediately hit another boss. Again, not objectively bad or anything, but to me it strikes of, like, suddenly the graph of intensity just spiked up at 1,000 miles an hour. And you're right, I did say that Geppetto seemed sinister. Like, that was, I don't think the game was trying to be too coy about that at this point. I just think I would have wished for, I've really come to appreciate subtlety in stories. I wish I would have seen more subtlety. So, for example, when I said no, rather, excuse me a sec, I've got a cat on my desk. Hi, Cutie Pie. Rather than having Geppetto turn on a dime and say, "You're just a puppet, I'm gonna steal your heart." I know he didn't literally say that, but, like, his tone was, excuse me, Pixel. I know he didn't literally say that, but that's kind of the tone that came across. You know, he said he's disappointed, and I believe him. I think I would have preferred a sad response. This is someone who is overwhelmed by grief and guilt. I assume guilt. I don't know the cause of Carlo's death. But maybe guilt over what he's done to bring Carlo back. So I would have preferred to see him very sad and say, like, I'm so sorry. Like, despite what you've become, like, I've come too far to not get my boy back. To me, that would have felt like a more reasonable response. Like, someone can be ultimately an evil person, like Geppetto seems to be, without becoming comic book villain at the end. And I don't think he's fully comic book villain. Like, I'm still liking this a lot. I want to be clear, this is still really good. It's just, I feel like the execution is too heavy-handed. Okay, into the fight. Let me step off my soapbox and into the fight. You know, like, imagine during this fight, rather than kind of insulting you and saying, I just said I was getting off my soapbox, and now I'm right back on the soapbox.
I never bound you to the Grand Covenant like the other puppets because of Carlo's memories within you.
I guess maybe I should shut up and listen to his dialogue a little more. Okay, there we go. Learning the timings. But, like, I don't think that insult quite makes sense. Maybe it could be described as, like, very briefly going through the, you know, stages of grief. But I would think he would be a little nicer to me, especially if I look like his dead son, to whom he's gone to all this trouble. Yeah. And like, that is coming across, you know, it's not like Geppetto saying, ha ha ha, I never loved you, stupid puppet. Like, it isn't that black and white. There is still subtlety here, you know. He's saying, like, for example, he angrily said, I didn't bound you to the Grand Covenant because of Carlo's memories. Like, which makes sense. And it also makes sense that Geppetto would be very angry here, you know, given, he just healed, by the way. Given everything Geppetto's done, I can understand why he would, you know, be an emotionally compromised person at this point. So the execution isn't, like, awful. I just think it needs some improvement. But also, I mean, it's very easy to...
You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
It's very easy to just, you know, criticize the game after the fact. Much harder to actually make it. Especially, I don't know to what extent, you know, budget and time considerations may come into play. Okay, so that's straight out there. 1-2, 1-2. Okay. I am struggling with these tells right now. That one confuses me. So that's kind of like a slash and then 1-2, 1-2. There's some real quick dodges, which I don't know if pairing those is the right play because there's two of them. Maybe I'd be better served just doing a real quick dodge on both. Well, I mean, it's more like, you know, it's a complex subject. Like, it's, and I'm not saying you said this to be clear, but just, you know, thinking about it kind of from different possible perspectives. It isn't so much does what Geppetto's doing make sense. It's does Geppetto believe that what he's doing makes sense. Similar to how, like, in Endgame for the Marvel movies, like, it doesn't really matter if Thanos is right about his view that killing half of all life in the universe will make the world a better place. What matters is, does he believe that strongly enough to take the actions that he does? And with that belief, does he behave consistently? And the answer in that movie is, absolutely he does. And I think the answer for Geppetto here is also true. Like, it doesn't matter whether he's right about all of this is worth it to bring my son back. It just matters, are his actions consistent with his characterization,
Your freedom is not free.
given his desperation and sadness? And I think the answer there is yes, too. I just don't think someone in that position would behave quite this way. I will also freely admit that, you know, this game has been really excellent, and closing out a really, really good game is, I mean, or any game, but especially one that's this good, is really, really difficult, you know? So it's kind of like...
You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
You know, I think I was maybe always going to be a little late on the dodge. A little harsher on this game than it maybe deserves. Oh man, I went for the, Okay, so that's a delay on the last one. Yeah, see, that one's really hard for me to dodge. Good. Okay, get a heal off. I might need to start using my, my urgent repair kits. Yeah, because I need to repair. Why did that stun lock me? That's a different mechanic. I was not out of stamina there. Good. I don't know if I got that perfectly, but it was pretty close. Yep, see the delay on the last hit? Heal up. Oh, he's dead. I got an achievement that makes me think it's the actual end of the fight and not... Don't tell me this is a lose in the cutscene thing. Because I beat that boss fair and square. It stopped.
Were you going to destroy Carlos' heart?
I hate to be negative on these games. I really don't like doing it. But it's hard to turn off the analyst brain.
I'm sorry.
You built a Sophia puppet?
It's so good to see you.
Well, I beat Liza P. And props to the game for giving me a skip button. I'm not gonna skip it, but props to them for giving me the button. Yeah, I heard that this game was South Korean, I think. These names seem to indicate that. That game was fucking exceptional. That was very, 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 very good. But it's also hard to not be disappointed by just the few misses here and there. Why did Geppetto sacrifice himself at the end? Wasn't the whole point to kill me and take my heart? And I get that he said you're going to destroy the heart, don't do that, but like, the heart could have been destroyed at any time during that fight, you know, narratively. Maybe the execution just didn't quite land with me. I think the intent was, Geppetto wants your heart and the hand of God to bring you back as a real boy. Since you refused, he took a desperate measure. You know, he's not a spry fighter. He's an old man. So as a desperate measure, he awoke this unnamed puppet. I still don't know what unnamed puppet that is exactly. To like put me out of commission and steal my heart, and then maybe during the fight it was infected by the frenzy. I don't think this happened, but like, imagine Geppetto had said something like, you know, something to the effect of it's been affected by the frenzy, like, you know, and at the end he has to come in and sacrifice himself because during the fight it got corrupted and would have killed you instead of taking the heart out. I don't know, Again, I hate to be, like, negative. It's no fun, and it doesn't feel good to see someone criticize a game if you like it. It's just like... Yeah, you're right about that. It was about to destroy my heart, like, as Geppetto jumped in front, but, like, Geppetto didn't say anything about that during the second phase. And I understand that to some this might be a minor complaint, but to me it's like... I would have preferred a softer ending without another fight. And probably, if I had said yes to giving him my heart, probably that's an ending right there. So I'm not saying that the ending I just described doesn't exist. It probably does. But... like, what was that puppet? Where did that unnamed puppet come from? Maybe there's information in the game about what that puppet is, but I was pretty thorough. You know, it's a pet peeve I have about a number of Souls games, is that a lot of the bosses seemingly come out of nowhere, and it's something that I liked about this game, and I especially liked about Elden Ring, is that at least, not every single boss, but at least the major bosses were foreshadowed, like narratively, so you had some context for who you were fighting, not just, this is the next boss in the chain. And some people don't care about that, they just want the next boss in the chain, because they only care about the combat, and that's fantastic, right? More power to them. But for me, the fight, whether or not it's mechanically good or bad, depending on how you define good or bad, I prefer to have that narrative context so that the scene holds weight. A good example there being, I think of the Maiden of Astraea in Demon Souls. Now, I haven't played Demon Souls, but even just watching it, this boss, to my understanding, is basically a punching bag, and there's a knight defending her that doesn't have a boss health bar, but kind of that's the real fight. And then you fight, and then you just go kill her. So is that fight hard? Well, I don't know, I haven't played Demon Souls, but like, to me the narrative weight there is far more interesting, even if the fight is mechanically poor, which I don't know if it is, but even if it is. All that to say that, like, fighting Simon at the end, like, Simon I had met, I had some context for the alchemists, but the game talked about alchemists the whole game, and I think the only alchemist I actually met was Jianzhou. You know, so there's a sense to which, like, and a lot of games do this. This is not, like, a Lies of P exclusive problem, where, like, this character's been built up as this terrible, I don't know, creature trying to become God or whatever, but I've only seen him for, like, a tiny part of one cutscene where he monologued at me. You know, I want that boss to have narrative weight, and to me, Simon had only a little bit of narrative weight. The weight came more from the context of what Urgo is, rather than Simon specifically. And then the actual final boss there in that puppet, like, what was that puppet? Clearly some safety measure that Geppetto built, but, like, I have no emotional attachment to that puppet. Which is where some of that narrative weight could have been earned back, I think, with Geppetto speaking during the fight. Again, it wouldn't make sense for Geppetto to fight you himself. I don't want Geppetto to suddenly absorb Urgo and become a monster or something like that, but... these are my first impressions, which may change. As I said, not a Lies of P exclusive problem. To me, I think it's fair to say every Souls game has suffered from that. I can't really judge Dark Souls 1 fairly in that regard because I didn't beat Dark Souls 1 kind of legit. when I first played it. I bounced off of the game and only came back to it years later when I was speedrunning it. So I don't really know what that blind experience is like. But for Dark Souls 3, I do. And in Dark Souls 3, the Soul of Cinder, to me, felt like oh, okay, there's this thing here, now I'm fighting it. And I understand that it's meant to be like the accumulated souls of Gwyn and etc., but to me that felt more like a bit of a ham-fisted callback. Whether that's true or not is subjective, but I don't want to go into Elden Ring spoilers because, you know, that game's new enough that I don't want to spoil it more than I already have. Like, I might be in the minority for what I'm about to say. I think I would have preferred... Imagine that you went to fight Simon, and you know how he was coughing, and he ended up being, like, super weak. You know, kind of like a subversion, where he ended up sort of falling over, like he can't quite do it. And then maybe he does successfully resurrect that god that comes and fights you. To me, that would have a little more weight. Or maybe I just needed a little more of the backstory between Geppetto and Simon. I don't know. I mean, there's a trillion ways that you could do it, and again, it is very easy to look at an existing work and pick it apart. It's much, much more difficult to create something from scratch, so... You know, in a sense, my criticism here... Well, it's just not as simple as I'm making it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, because I lied every chance I got.
A final report on the Krat experiment.
You certainly took your time, Paracelsus. Your findings?
I think we have a new brother. A new type of humanity, so to speak.
There are many forms of eternal life.
It's intriguing, and worth further observation.
Noted. And we'll have to get his arm back anyway.
I'm counting on it. Expect another report at the next meeting. Paracelsus returning. Ah, and when I return, I will find her. For sure. Another key of ours. Dorothy.
That was intriguing. That was very intriguing. No way. No way. These sons of bitches. That's so cool. God damn it. That's really cool. You know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. That is... I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I can understand why someone would cringe at what I just watched. I thought that was awesome. Do you wish to continue? Will not be inherited. All collectibles except records, cross-supply boxes, Vanity collections. The only things I haven't done this playthrough are... I can't do that final decoded thing because I can't get the weapon, and I haven't done the final Trinity key location. Excuse me, sorry. Let me back out of this for now. I'm gonna go do the other Trinity key. I really like this framing. To me, this is a very clever use of... The term reused assets came to mind, but that's wrong. That's a very clever, like, interpretation of all these, you know, classic stories. Pinocchio and Wizard of Oz. You know, for me, right off the bat, the dark Pinocchio theme was just intriguing to me. Like, I was really curious to see where they would go with it. I wouldn't say I have any particular attachment to Pinocchio, but, like, to me, that's an intriguing premise, and it continued to be an intriguing premise. Now I'm curious, by the way. In games like this, some games will checkpoint you right before the end. And some games will let you actually, you know, continue the playthrough. And it seems like this is the latter because, you know, this arena is clear. Lurker, do you... I don't know how well you know this game. Do you happen to know where the Trinity doors are? I've gotten 3 out of 4, and I found the 4th one. But I don't remember exactly where it was. I think it may have been in the arcade. I know that me asking you this without you intimately knowing my playthrough is maybe a little silly, but if you happened to know them offhand... Okay, sounds good. I'll just go explore. Yeah, a lot to think about for this game. And even if I ultimately come away thinking that the ending was maybe slightly undercooked, I think that's still does not do much to diminish how good the rest of this has been. I mean, an ending can absolutely diminish what came earlier, but... And yeah, you mentioned the truthfulness. Like, I'm very curious. So, again, just in case you... I don't know how much of this game you've watched. You have to lie at the beginning of the game, I think, to get in the Hotel Krat. I guess I don't know that for sure, but I think that you have to lie. And so from then on, I think I just decided it would be more interesting to lie whenever I got the chance, to the point where even the characters that I was emotionally attached to during the course of the playthrough, I just lied to them. And I felt genuinely bad about that, which I think is a testament to the character writing, that, like, I genuinely felt bad about lying. And I still do. First of all, thank you for asking whether I want to know, even though I finished the game. I'm gonna say, don't tell me yet if that's okay with you, because I am in the process of watching another playthrough of this game, and I'm guessing I'll watch multiple playthroughs of it from other people, and I'm curious to... I want to be surprised when they do something differently than me. Did I ever come in these houses? Probably. Maybe I'll just briefly Google where the Trinity doors are, because I know I found one, like the last one that I haven't opened, but I don't remember where it is. In the interest of time, I'm going to Google it. One moment. Lies of P Trinity doors. All Lies of P Trinity door locations. Okay, so I got this first one. I got that second one. The Estella Opera House. That is part of this. The area with this swinging chandelier. So that'll be backwards from here. It's at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I looked that up. I would have just randomly wandered until I found it. Which, enjoyable as this game is, I don't know if that would make for the most engaging content. What a fucking game, though. I was watching the playthrough that I mentioned that I've been watching. The person just fought... Or the most recent boss that they fought was the Archbishop. I think it's the other way. is the Archbishop. And watching that fight, like, I loved that fight when I faced it, and watching someone else play it, like, I might like that boss and some of the best bosses in this game more than any FromSoft boss. I'll have to, you know, think on it more and reflect it. That was the achievement for getting all of the Trinity Sanctums. Performance of the day. The greatest singer in Krat has arrived. It's a shame she can't sing because her tongue was cut out. Oh. Well, that's harsh. Nice. One last quartz. They passed through the door. It's time to understand the true meaning of the 3 pillars. This still confuses me because this struck me as like some glass case that you could open, but maybe it is just a, you know, a little nugget of lore. It could also be that there's, you know, some super secret boss or maybe multiple super secret bosses that I haven't fought. Like, the game as a whole was pretty linear, which is not a bad thing. And I was quite thorough. I'm guessing that at the end, if I had volunteered to give up my heart, that there wouldn't be that extra fight, you know, so that would be another ending, but beyond that fight... I guess in the interest of just having, you know, this last Lies of P VOD on the collection, Lies of P secret bosses. I'm going to look it up because if there is one, I'm not going to find it. The Nameless Puppet is the secret final boss that you'll only experience if you make a certain choice in the final moments of the game. Are there any other secret bosses? Scrolling through. There are some, so for context, I consider a boss anything with a boss health bar. Which is funny because some mini-bosses are arguably harder than some things with a boss health bar. There have been some, like, doctors and whatnot, and I know that there were some fights that I missed. For example, when I took the funicular up to the cathedral, which was after this, or maybe at the beginning of this, maybe at the end of Moonlight Town, somewhere in this vicinity. There was a character called the Atoned that I lied to and said, yep, I'm a human, or I gave them the stalker greeting, and so they let me pass. And this playthrough I've been watching, they told the truth, and they said nothing, and this person fought them, and that character had a boss health bar. So there are various survivors that you can interact with. If I kind of glance through the fast travel list, there was a Puppet of the Future here in Venigni Works that I fought. The Atone that I just mentioned. The White Lady apparently is an optional boss, really? I guess it's optional because maybe you can just run away from it. The Mad Clown Puppet. This boss is only available after you defeat the White Lady. You will meet him just before reaching the entrance of Estella Opera House. Okay, so I guess optional means you can just run past him if you want to. The Owl Doctor I fought. The Robber Weasel I fought, I think. Yeah, I definitely fought the Robber Weasel. I fought the Walker of Illusions. That thing was pretty difficult. Fought the Door Guardian. I fought the Black Cat, which I feel kind of bad about. And then the Red Fox, who presumably will only fight you if you took out her brother. Okay, so it seems like there actually aren't other secret bosses, which I feel like I need to be very clear sometimes on like what I am aiming as a criticism at the game versus not. That's not a criticism. I was just curious whether there are more bosses. So with all that in mind, this game was awesome. I think I've done most of what I wanted to do. I tried out a bunch of different weapons, even though I just stuck with my kind of basic smacking stick the whole time. I went really heavy into Vigor and Motivity. And then as for these key items, I still don't know what the red apples are for. Maybe I used one at some point and didn't realize it. The wedding ring I used, and actually used a second time as well. Hey, Richard. I just beat it, actually. I just beat it, and I fought the secret final boss, which destroyed me a few times. I used this. I think I used this. This could have been another ending, but I chose the other option. This I got appraised. Listen to these other pieces. I guess you must be able to get new records on New Game Plus. Because there are way more record slots than these. Bunch of pictures and letters. These are all lore stuff. And then this last one here, the cryptic vessel. I know where this is, but I can't do it because Frozen Feast is a weapon that you need a special boss soul for, and I spent the boss soul on something else. I don't think there's anything else that I want to do. I mean, I was very thorough when I went through. There are, to reiterate, there's a handful of optional bosses, where a boss is anything with a boss health bar, throughout the game in the form of some stalkers, that some of which I avoided based on my lies, and some of which I fought based on not giving the black cat a gold coin. I got all the Trinity keys and opened all the doors. I did all of the decoded, the cryptic vessels that I'm aware of. Maybe I missed some, but I did all the ones that I'm aware of, except for this one, which I can't do. I've never really done New Game Plus in any of the Souls games. Maybe I will in this case, or maybe I'll just... I might dabble with speedrunning this game. It'll depend on how the speedrun shakes out. And also my own time management. If I do, well, I'll just decide whether I'm going to do it later. Let me go check on my pal. My pal over in the Barren Swamp. There's this robot in here who asks you to teach them how to understand humans, and so you can use... Well, when you get different emotes, you can like teach them about emotion, which I think is pretty clever. So it might be that there are other gestures in the game I could get, but I don't think so, because...
If I make human friends someday, I'll tell you. You may not always be my only friend, but you'll always be my first friend.
See, I had more emotional attachment to this character than I did to Simon. Or even Geppetto, to be honest, by the end. So no, I don't think there's anything else I want to do in this game. I've never even used this. Let's... Wait. Even though it doesn't matter, I'm going to level up because... Actually, I'm going to use my money. Oh, wait a minute. There is something I want to do. I'm going to use this. And use this. And I'm going to go back to home base. And see what I can get for the Nameless Puppets, ergo. And this will also give me some much needed, if only a small amount, of lore on the Nameless Puppet. The Nameless Puppet was the first puppet made by the old man that was mounted with a P organ. Its ergo efficiency was not just unremarkable, it was destructive. Thus, the Nameless Puppet was not chosen for the boy's body and sealed away. See, this is interesting. This is like a whole other topic of like... If you didn't read that item description, you would have no context beyond your own assumptions of what that Nameless Puppet was. And some people won't care about that. They just want to fight the boss. I'm someone who does care about it.
Oh, did I scare you?
The hell?
It's me, Hugo. This whole thing has inspired me. I'm going to try to be the Aladoro of a new generation.
Wow.
I will also keep looking for the relic's true owner. Check in with me anytime. A great weapon calls for a great... Sorry.
Aladoro is... Well, this isn't Aladoro anymore,
As always,
but...
prove that you're worthy.
So what can I get for that last thing? Proof of humanity. Was this, yep, non-disassemblable. A giant scissor blade used by a nameless puppet. It is a double-edged sword that can end one's freedom or grant it by cutting the strings of manipulation. Puppets are tied to strings. Humans have cut their own strings. The boy made a choice and became human. No, I didn't. What the fuck? Excuse me? Immunity to all attribute status ailments? It is unknown whether the nameless puppet had an ego. This is because multiple cores holding concentrated ergo were used to boost its firepower. If this puppet could feel only one emotion, it would be hatred. So, yeah, we're getting that. Immunity to all status ailments. Holy bejesus. Even though the game's over, I mean... Increases ergo acquisition and killing enemies. Motivity. This one I didn't really understand. Maybe I wasn't using it right. And also this person saying prove that you're worthy. So you can get this weapon that Alidoro... Well, the character you meet who is Alidoro is not actually Alidoro. It's the parrot who killed Alidoro. And this is now Hugo who took over the mantle of Alidoro because I killed Alidoro. For not being Alidoro. Everyone follow that? He'll give me his weapon if you prove that you're worthy, which maybe means that you have to, like, buy... I wonder if you have to buy every single thing in his shop, like go through a New Game Plus cycle? Or maybe it's just you have to, like, spend each boss soul or something? Wait, how much does that immunity thing weigh? 14.5. Oh my god. I want to see if immunity really does mean straight up immune. Let me go back to the swamp and walk around in the muck. You know, that's a great question I ask myself every day. I am actually immune to all status ailments. Something that the stream I was watching earlier mentioned is that this game has a lot of, you know, fun is subjective, but has a lot of really fun upgrades. You know, that end game reward I got, it wasn't like 10% boost to all your damage. It's like immune to status ailments, or there's another one that, like, you know, charges your like attack every time you get a perfect parry. Like, a lot of these are like, oh, that's really interesting. All of these could have utility. It's not an extra 2.1% poison resistance or something boring like that, you know? And, like, that's a hell of an endgame reward. Even being in the endgame here where, you know, I don't really need it unless I go through to a New Game Plus cycle. Like, it reminds me of, in Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, way back on the PlayStation... It's PS1 at that point, right? When you 100% the game, you get infinite fireballs, where previously fireballs is a timed power-up in certain stages. And, like, even though you're already done with the game at that point, like, that's a hell of a reward. Yeah, so I guess I'm done. I mean, I beat the game. I didn't fight every single boss in the game because there were some stalkers that I missed, but I fought all of the major bosses and all of the optional bosses. I did all the Trinity keys. I got a plus 10 weapon, and I got access to all kinds of other weapons, some of which I used, some of which I didn't. I'm level 103, and excluding that last level up, that means that I beat the game at level 102. I lied every single chance I got, saved Sophia, told the Hound about the hotel. I wonder what other choices I could have made to affect the ending. But yeah. Awesome game. My nose is fine, but I did get this weapon. The painting, which was like sticking my nose out, it eventually bloomed or something, and I got this weapon. So now I can do this. And I have a big golden whacking stick. I don't think I can make my nose longer, that's DLC. Cool. This has been fun. Like I said, I may dabble with speedrunning this game. It'll depend how much time I want to... I think speedrunning this would be a lot of fun. The issue is just time. Because fun as these streams have been, you know, it's eating up a number of hours each evening. Thanks, Richard. Cool. Have a good night. Lots of other people playing this game if you want to watch more of it. I may be back with speedruns, I might not. If I do, it might not be tomorrow, but maybe sometime in the future. Good night.